So welcome everyone. It's fantastic to be here with you tonight. My name is Justin Phillips, and I'm very blessed to be what we call the Triple Diamond in ASEA, and I'm calling in from my beautiful home on Bribie Island in Queensland, where we've just brought our young bub home and we thoroughly enjoy our home-based business. So tonight I'm going to talk to you about the ASEA Cellular Health, and I want to thank you for coming along. Obviously you've come along yourself, or someone's invited you along to learn about these amazing technology and these products and how we share them with people. So thank you so much for coming. And it doesn't really matter whether you're here for wellness or athletic performance, or you may have some health challenges, or you're looking for any aging technology. It doesn't matter, because ASEA it really covers all of those bases, and it can help anyone in any of those areas, and it's completely safe, which is amazing. So tonight I'm going to talk a little bit about the redox biochemistry, what that is. I'm going to talk about real life case studies in how this helps people, and we'll see some testimonials. And I'm going to talk about how we share it with people, and a little bit about the company and how I came to be involved with them, and why that was such a compelling reason to get out there and change the world with this. So Sue, just nod if you can see the screen. The ASEA Cellular Health, great, it's all working, fantastic. So so a little bit about my story is I've been in health and wellness for about 22 years. I had some major challenges with my health. I didn't know about it. I was bitten by a tick, and I had some stealth infections for a number of years, multi-systemic bacterial infections, and they also led to an autoimmune disease in my thyroid. And that developed, I just developed a career in natural medicine and complementary medicine. I've been a paramedic, I've worked in clinics, I've studied nutrition, massage, kinesiology, reflex, a whole bunch of stuff, a whole lot of modalities and personal training and yoga and qigong and Chinese medicine and a whole lot of things in order to try and maintain my wellness. And I went through on natural medicine, and then into emergency medicine, and back into natural medicine. And I had a fantastic health food shop and natural therapies clinic, and I've managed integrated medical clinics. And that's what I've always sort of worked around. But I was never really able to get on top of my health challenges. And I was introduced to this great technology back in September 2011, when someone was kind enough to interrupt my day and say, hey, this is a great technology that you need to know about. And I said, okay, thanks. And we tried it. And straight away I had big differences in my sleep. My wife, who had fatigue issues for 25 years, after 3 weeks on just 60 mils twice a day of the liquid product, that just resolved. And that was life-changing for us. And so we had to really look into it. And we became regular users of it for many years. And then later on, after a major health crisis, where I was slowly dying, I was really sick, and I finally got diagnosed and used a lot of integrated medicine along with this technology. I fully recovered, and about 8 months after that, I helped launch this technology into the Australian market. And it's been an amazing ride now since August 2014 when I did that, to help a lot of people and see how the ASEA is transforming lives around the world. So that's a bit about me. Okay, so let's learn about the product and why people are here. So ASEA, 6 main reasons why people come to ASEA, and number one is they have a health challenge, or they may want to invest in their future health, and that was definitely the case for me. Number 2 is they may know or want to help someone else with a health challenge. And that was the case with me as well, and my wife. We've always been passionate about helping, but we do have a lot of healers and natural therapists and even doctors and different healthcare professionals come in because of the technology is so compelling. You may be looking for increased energy, stamina, endurance, or athletic performance. Number 3, we have Olympians that use this technology. We have personal trainers. A lot of people are using it. Even older athletes, like 60-year-olds that are going back and playing masters and getting results like they were 20 years ago through using this technology. So it's just phenomenal. Number 4, you may just want to have more youthful and radiant, healthy looking skin. Great. We love beautiful people. Everyone likes to look at beautiful people. Number 5 is you may be looking for additional income and financial freedom, and that totally was not on my radar when I started this, but it has turned out to be by far the most prosperous and most abundant thing I've ever done in my life. And I love how people can help people with this great health science technology products and still get a fantastic income. And for us, we now work full-time at home, and we've just brought our first baby home this week. And, you know, mum and dad can be at home with Bob. It's just incredible. And we get to travel the world together and do heaps of great things. Number 6 is you may just want to make a contribution and a difference to others. And like my sponsors, the people that introduced me into this company, they are very, very wealthy, very independently wealthy, never had to work another day in their lives. They wanted to travel the world and play golf 6 days a week, right? Mega loaded and just, you know, in a great position in life. But they were lacking that kind of sense of contributing and like wanting to give back to society. And they knew that not only the business model, but particularly that these products were able to help a lot of people. And ever since then, they've actually only played for about 6 years or even 6.5 years now. They've only played golf for 3 days because they have just spending most of their time doing this ASEA and helping lots of people. And 2 of those 3 golf games were actually ASEA golf games. So it's pretty interesting. So it can help with your contribution to society, of course. Okay, so I'm going to teach you a little bit about the biochemistry of redox, just to give you some background and some understanding. So the redox signaling molecules, redox science is one of the fastest growing areas of scientific research in the world today. And on PubMed, which is the largest database of peer-reviewed medical journals, pubmed.gov, there's over 14,000 scientific articles, each of them representing hundreds and thousands of hours of research. There's more than 1,200 books, and there's hundreds of study programs and conferences around the world on the topic of redox science. So science independent of ASEA on redox is hugely growing. There's also been 5 Nobel Prizes now, and the first one was in 1998. So it's very, very new. It's less than 2 decades old, and this is very cutting edge. A lot of people don't know about it. If you go and Google redox signaling, just with the 1 L, that's the way the Americans spell it, you'll get over 3.2 million hits. And this was like 6 months ago that I actually did this. So yeah, it's lots and lots of results on Google. Someone's just asked how many associates do we have in ASEA. Not sure the exact number, but it's over 200,000, and we're in at least 27 countries with a whole lot of other countries that are starting to just get personal products, so over 30 countries at least. Okay, so yeah, with Google is a great search engine, but it's not a great research engine. You know, to look at research that's scientifically based, you want to go to PubMed.gov or maybe Google Scholar. But, you know, anyone can write things on the internet. And sometimes some companies and some industries are threatened by new technologies. And ASEA and redox science is a real game changer. It is what they call a market disruptor. It's going to disrupt the health industry market and the cosmetic market and the athletic market, because it's such a unique new category of health science. And so there are sometimes people out there on the internet that are being perhaps malicious, intently malicious and critical and skeptical, and creating doubt and fear in people because they're worried about what this technology is going to do to impact their industry. So, you know, you may find on the internet that some websites that look very credible that say that ASEA is just expensive salt water. And that's just so far from the truth. They really don't acknowledge the science behind it. And I'm going to show you some of that science and where you can go and do your due diligence and find out why this technology is just sweeping the globe. Okay, so this is a great quote from a man I greatly respect, and this is Dr. Gary L. Samuelson. He's a medical atomic physicist, and he was the man that first stabilized these molecules outside the body with ASEA. He said that this technology has the potential to spearhead the greatest advances in health we have seen in our lifetime, which is pretty special, right? Okay, so I want to show you some websites where you can go and get some independent science. And this is a great website, one of my favorites. It's theredoxdoc.com. And this is run by Dr. Robertson Ward, and he's a independent practicing medical physician in the US. He's licensed in 3 states. You know, he's got an outstanding long-term career. Now, this man here is not an employee of ASEA. He is not a distributor of ASEA's products. He is a massive fan of redox, and he is an avid researcher of redox science. So he has his website, and he explains in layman's terms how redox molecules affect these various parts of the body. So you can go there and you can do your research on what you might be interested in and understand more of how redox impacts these parts of the body. which is great. And he's even got some research links there to scientific articles. There's even one there about how cancer is a redox deficiency disease and all of this sort of stuff. So it's pretty interesting. And if you have some health challenges or you're trying to help people with health challenges, I really encourage you to do your research and just discover for yourself how amazing these redox molecules are. So yeah, so that's completely independent. Okay, now this is a little bit of work by Professor James Watson. Professor James Watson, he won the Nobel Prize back in the 60s for the co-discovery of the double helix shape of DNA. So he is a legend in the field of science and health science and biology, and anyone that's studied any biology has actually studied some of his work. He's continued studying and researching all these years, and in March 2014, he released an article in The Lancet, which is one of the UK's most respected medical journals, that said that type 2 diabetes was actually a redox deficiency disease. And that's really starting to change the attitude of how we look at these illnesses, how we look at these health challenges, and understand how they actually work, their real cause. So he goes on to say that many of our major diseases today, including things like Alzheimer's disease and cardiovascular disease and arthritis and even cancer, are actually redox deficiency diseases. And he contends that the only way for us to naturally increase our redox signaling molecules is to do more exercise. And everyone knows that exercise is good for you, right? Well, now we understand a bit more why, because it actually increases our energy and increases our redox. But not everyone can exercise. When I was very sick only 3.5 years ago, and I was mainly bedbound, I couldn't get out of bed and go for a run like I used to. I couldn't do any of the personal training like I used to. So I needed to get my redox from somewhere else. Now, Professor James Watson, when he said this, he didn't know about ASEA, the company or the products, but now he does, and we have a solution for people that can't do the exercise. Okay, now to understand what redox is, it's really good to understand what it's not. And redox signaling molecules are not vitamins. They're not minerals. They're not antioxidants. It's not exotic juices. It's not structured water. Redox signaling molecules is a whole new category of health science, and there's no other products like it on the planet. They're the first and only balanced, stabilized redox signaling molecules outside living tissue. Now, ASEA and Renew 28 go beyond other health products in the things they can help people with, because no other products has got that kind of technology. Okay, so now let's have a quick look at a cell, and we know that we live and die at the cellular level. Okay, so whoopsie daisy, we just had a little crash there. My apologies. I'm just going to bring that back up. Can you see that, everyone? Can you see the screen again, Sue? Yeah, brilliant. Thank you for that. Okay, so we live and die at a cellular level. We know that the redox signaling molecules, science has proven, are foundational to cellular health and well-being, and that when our cells are healthy, that we are healthy. We know now that redox signaling molecules are critical to every major body system and function that our body does. Now, what redox signaling molecules are is they are the smallest physical particle of cellular communication. So we're talking about how our cells communicate. Okay, we're talking on the most basic level of how our cells are talking to each other. Okay, so with our cells, we know that if our cells are healthy, our tissues are healthy, our organs are healthy, organ systems are healthy, and our whole bodies are healthy, well, we know our cell can only be healthy if its communication is healthy. So redox signaling molecules are the foundation for cellular health. Now, if we look at that diagram on the right there, it's like a big cell, right? A big, it's kind of like a bag of salt water, because we're 60 to 75% salt and water. And our heart cells, which work really hard, are up to 80% salt water. So as our body makes energy inside the cell with these power plants called the mitochondria, and it's making the basic energy called ATP, it's also making what we call redox signaling molecules. And these redox signaling molecules are two main categories. And one category are the reductants, and these are the ones that actually activate our antioxidants. okay? And our oxidants are like, they're the ones that activate our immune system. They're immune system communicators. So with the activating antioxidants, the reductants, I want you to think about like a light bulb with a dimmer switch, because we all have antioxidants, but unless we have enough and a correct balance of oxidants and reductants, it's like the dimmer switch is turned down. And when we can increase our redox in correct balance, we can turn the dimmer switch up, and it can get much, much more brighter, it can get much more efficient and have a greater impact on our body. And that's exactly what the redox technology can do for you. The oxidants, on the other hand, they are like some of the primary weapons of the immune system. So when our white blood cells are out there and they're finding bacteria and they're finding viruses, they actually make redox signaling molecules, these oxidants, and they fire them at them to kill them off. So oxidants are really, really important. For a long time, we didn't think oxidants were good. That's why we got so much into antioxidants. But it turns out, nature knows best, and a correct balance of everything works the best. So even in the regulation of unhealthy cells, like when our body determines and detects that there's a cell that's gone rogue and it's mutating, it's out of control, it should be destroyed, and that's the process of apoptosis, that process is regulated by redox signaling molecules. So these are really critical functions that we need to maintain in order to be healthy, happy people. Now, another analogy I want to give you so that you can kind of understand this, because I get it's a bit hard. It's different to everything else. It's not nutrition. So I want you to think about when you build a house, you need great plans from the architect and the engineer. You need a great raw materials. You need your timber and your bricks and all that sort of stuff. And you need great foremen to read the plans and good tradespeople to put all those raw materials in the right place, right? And the better the labor and the better the raw materials, the better the plans, the better the house. Well, all of us have all plans in the DNA. When you have a healthy cell, it's about, the plans in the DNA. And we've all got great DNA. No one's got perfect DNA, but many of us have got great. And all of us got great DNA. And many of us can get fantastic raw materials now. That's the science of nutrition, which has been around for ages. And, nutritional products and good food and organics and all that sort of stuff, that's your raw materials. But your foreman that reads the plans, reads the DNA, and tells the cell what to do, that's the redox signaling molecules. And we've never before been able to boost that up and tap into that function to increase cellular efficiency. Because as we increase cellular communication, we increase cellular efficiency and we increase cellular function. And that empowers the body to heal naturally. And that's why this technology can do so much for people. Okay, so the good news and the bad news is, like, when we're 13 or 14 and we hit our maximum potential of redox production, we're at 100%. By the time we're 40, it seriously declines. The lack of, as we age, we make less and less energy and less redox signaling molecules is one of the main things that happens as we age. And that's why things don't work as well. So by age 40 at 50%, we're down to, our communication's halved. So I want you to think about the analogy of a cell phone on that, or a mobile phone, because it's a cell phone, right? It's like the cells are talking to each other. At 13, it's like 4G and 5 bar. So you can watch the funny videos on YouTube and Facebook and, make phone calls and do your texts, and it's no problem, great communication. By the time you're 40 and it's like 50%, it's kind of like 2 to 3 bars and 3G. So you can still get into Google, but if you watch a movie or a video, it's going to take a while to buffer. And sometimes when you're on the phone, you might miss a word, but your texts still get through. And generally, your communication's okay, right? Most 40-year-olds were pretty good. I turned 40 this year, so a few little niggles and things like that, but certainly don't recover like I used to with exercise, okay? So things are starting to change. That continues on down. And by the age of 70, it's like you got 10% of your redox production. And that means it's like 1 bar and no internet. So you can't get into Google anymore. You can't use most of your apps. You're lucky to make a phone call. Pretty much you send a text message through and hope that it gets through. And that's kind of like what it is when we're older in life and we just don't have these same amount of redox molecules, these communication molecules. We don't have the signal strength to get through. And the cells, even though they've still got the plan, even though you may still be having fantastic nutrition, it doesn't have the workforce. It doesn't have the power to get done what needs to get done. So in that analogy, the phone hasn't changed, right? The cells haven't changed that much, a little bit, but not that much. But it's the signal strength that's changed. So I want you to try and get that concept, because if you can increase your signal strength, you can get how the cell can work better. And that's exactly what we see with redox technology. Okay, so along came this amazing company called ASEA Cellular Health. And after many, many years of research and lots of dollars, they were able to establish a product of these exact bioidentical molecules stabilized outside the body. And in 2009, in the soft launch in the US, they released that liquid ASEA product. Now, that product is only available for personal use in Australia, but it's in like 25 countries in the world, and a lot of other countries are getting access to it. And lots of people have experienced significant health changes with this product. And this is the one that I first started on back in September 2011. So it is actually less toxic than water, which is phenomenal, right? Because it has all these bio reactions and all this activity, how it can help us, but it's less toxic than water, which is amazing. So the liquid has been around since 2009, and then the Renew 28, I helped launch that into Australia in August 2014. So 5 years of research and development before they were able to find something that was safe and non-reactive, and able to put these redox signaling molecules into. And that product is now like a topic product, and it's all over the world, and it's proving to be a phenomenal health benefit product as well. Because people are putting it on the outside and they started to get amazing cosmetic benefits, there was a strong calling for some complementary products of a moisturizer and cleanser. And then they also made the serum, a little 15 ml concentrated serum, which is super concentrated redox, and that's great for spot treatment, whether that fine lines, wrinkles, or sun damage, or even like health challenges, particularly like my wife's just had birth, and any scarring, you want to put it on scarring or wound, areas that you want to help heal, that sort of stuff. So ASEA is the only place in the world where you can get these exclusive redox breakthrough products. They're 100% safe, they're completely non-toxic, they actually have no contraindication to any medication, and that's really unusual. They're native to the body. Okay, so I've sold a lot of health products in my time, and I could accidentally hurt someone by, I could kill someone by encouraging them to have fish oil if they were on blood thinners. It's really, you have to be very careful in the health industry. But these technology are super, super safe, which is amazing. The liquid and the redox technology is based on H2O, water, and sodium chloride, and we'll talk about that in a moment. So sometimes people with low sodium diets, they're concerned about that. But that sodium's been converted into liquid redox signaling molecules. So the original salt is not there. Okay, it's kind of like baking a cake. The eggs and the flour and the water, it changes. Okay, so an average dose, the standard dose of ASEA, which is about 60 mils or 2 ounces, has the same amount of salt in it as a carrot. Okay, so it's very, very low and very safe for them. No banned substances for athletes, which is amazing. It's proven highly effective and it's very affordable. And the kind of ethos and the ethics of ASEA is they really want to go out there and prove third-party independent science of the effectiveness of their products. And so no one has told them they have to do that. No regulatory body has done that. But on their own, they've gone out to Bioagilytics laboratories and had a redox certification established. They're the only company in the world that's done that. They're the first and only balanced redox signaling molecule product in the world. But Bioagilytics actually work with 22 out of the top 25 biotech and pharmaceutical companies around the world. So they have a massive reputation as a verification and a testing company. And so, it's pretty impressive that they test every single batch of ASEA, Renew 28, and the Renew Advanced Serum. And in the future, we're going to get some more complementary health, cellular health technology products. So ASEA is a cellular health company. It's not a cosmetic company. It just happens to get some great cosmetic benefits, because cosmetic stuff is kind of like rusting on the outside. And we rust on the inside as well, and we want to stop that and help ourselves be more efficient. So how does ASEA do this? They have a 3-step patented process. They take pure salt and water and sodium chloride, pharmaceutical grade sodium chloride, and they go through a 30-step electrochemical process. And that has 49 international patents on it. There's been millions and millions of dollars of research, over 22 years of research into it. And they were able to break these molecules down into atoms, the smallest physical particle, into atoms, and then restructure them into stabilized, bioidentical redox signaling molecules. The same molecules that are in any cellular life form, not just us, but all animals, plants, and any cellular life form. Now, ASEAScience.com, that's the corporate website where you can go and have a look at some of the amazing health benefit and clinical trial, and that's clinical trials that they've done in that area. Now, this is another interesting thing just to briefly look at. ASEA Science Council and the ASEA Medical Professional Board. So ASEA puts a lot of resources into research and development and to verification of their products and what they can do. So we've got a bunch of very clever, very talented people that do that. Now, the ASEA Science Council, they're consultants, they're not distributors or they're not employees of ASEA, so they have their own careers and own reputation. They consult to ASEA. The ASEA Medical Professionals Board is actually made up of people like me who actually tell people about these products, and you can see that they have some pretty amazing qualifications and have got long-term careers in all sorts of fields, and they help ASEA improve the technology and improve the education of how we get it out there. So independent testing by Dermatest. Let's look at some of the clinical trials that ASEA has done and contracted other independent companies to do on their behalf to demonstrate that third-party independent science. So Dermatest is actually the #1 dermatological or skin testing research facility, research institute in Europe. And they did a 28-day clinical trial where the ladies put Renew 28 on twice a day. And after 28 days, they had a 23% increase in smoothness, a 22% improvement in facial skin texture, a 20% increase in elasticity. Now, that's very interesting because it's not like a filler. It doesn't plump the skin up. It goes deep into the skin and it changes the structure of the cells. You know, remember when you're younger, everything was more elastic. And as we age, things get harder, right? Veins and arteries, ligaments and joints and tendons and skin, things get harder. And that's not a good thing. It's good to keep the suppleness. So with this study, it indicates that perhaps if you can get redox molecules into these areas, you can actually increase elasticity. It certainly does with the skin. 23% improvement in overall wrinkles, a 21% reduction in eye wrinkle depth, and 11% increase in skin moisture. That's also a very interesting fact because there's no moisturizing ingredient in Renew 28, and that means that it's again changing that cell function. And remember, we dehydrate as we age. So when we're younger, we hold our moisture better. Now, sometimes people experience a temporary dryness when they start reusing the Renew 28, particularly if they've got quite dry skin or they're using it in the middle of winter. Now, remember, Renew 28 is not a moisturizer, so I'd encourage you to complement it with using the moisturizer after that. But even without that, it still increases skin moisture because it's helping those cells function better. And the participants noticed a reduction in redness, irritation, enhanced skin quality, and overall improvement in tone and balance. Okay, so the Renew 28 was validated by More Science by Stevens and Associates. They're another company. They have global research laboratories in skin research, and they proved that Renew 28 has a 50% increase in skin blood flow. It's actually 49% increase in skin blood flow just 15 minutes after application, but 96 hours after applying it twice a day was a 55% increase in skin blood flow. So that's a phenomenal improvement. And obviously where the blood is where the life goes, right? That's the immune system, the hormones, the nutrients, oxygen, it's how the body gets rid of waste, all that sort of stuff. So it's really important, particularly in areas that are lacking blood and they need it, you know, infection and scarring and surgery, post-surgery sites and things like that, or bruising or muscles. If you're doing a workout, then obviously you want more blood to your muscles. So this was an increase in skin blood flow because that's what the technology can tell us with a laser Doppler. But very interesting at how redox can increase blood flow and circulation. Another one that they did was a 16% increase in faster cell renewal over 28 days. And that's the essence of anti-aging, right? Because as we age, our cells turn over slower. When we're children, our skin cells turn over in about 14 days. When we're in our early 20s, which is our best skin, our skin cells turn over in 28 days. That's where they get the name from, right? But when we're 50 and on, our skin cells can be turning over in 90 days or more. So our cells slow down, and that's not a good thing, and we can speed that up by using Renew 28. Now, then they did a reduction in cellulite study, and this was amazing. They did a 12-week study. They're applying it twice a day over hips, thighs, and buttocks, and that's a big area, right? So they're using about a tube a week to do that, and they had a phenomenal decrease in not only the appearance, but also the size of the fat lobules. So the cellulite, the fat lobules are under the skin, and they took ultrasound photography and demonstrated that the fat lobules are shrinking. Plus, they were doing 3D scanning of the skin to show that the appearance as well. So amazing, amazing results. Okay, so then, like I said, that was August 2014 is when the Renew 28 came out. And then June 2016 is when the Renew Advanced came out with the serum and the cleanser and the moisturizer. And that pretty much just put a turbo on all the results. It greatly improved things. That moisturizer and the cleanser are very high-tech technologies to improve the effects of the redox. And look at the difference. So this is a 12-week study, and the increase in the results was phenomenal. So 100% showed a visible decrease in numerous deep fine lines. 100% had measurably smoother skin, 95% noticeable firmer skin, 90% saw a decrease in visible photo damage, 90% experienced more radiant skin, and 85% showed a visible decrease in the number and depth of wrinkles. So that one was done by Stevens and Associates again. You can see the lady at the top. There's two before and after photos. The lady at the top, she was a part of the trial, and you can see she's definitely had some cosmetic benefits, but she's also gone out and got a lip piercing. So, that kind of shows it changes the way people feel about themselves. When they feel good, they actually have more confidence, and looks like she was trying to be a teenager again and living on the wild side. The second photo there, now that's an amazing photo. You can see that's 27th of May, 11:30 p.m. And that's Dr. Jane Chapman. She's a great integrated medical doctor, lives on the Gold Coast here in Australia, and she specializes in bioidentical hormones and anti-aging. It's just really amazing, cutting edge doctor. And look at that photo. My wife went down and did some workshops with her and some presentations, and she wouldn't give her the Renew Advanced products until she'd taken a photo. And they'd been up till late at night, 11:30, took the photo, used the products, and you can see the after photo less than 24 hours later, a significant change in the fine lines. So she was pretty happy. A lot of people are. Okay, a couple of quick case studies. Both of these ladies were using the Renew 28 as well as the liquid product, and they were overseas. But the one on the left there, you can see she's had significant cosmetic improvement, right? Which is great. And they're using these products for 6 months. But what the photo doesn't show was that lady was experiencing a couple of days a month, like 2 days a month, she'd be in a dark room and like vomiting with extreme discomfort in her head and like massive headaches. And that was going on for many, many years. And after 6 months using these products, that just disappeared. The second lady, again, 6 months, you can see she's had a great cosmetic benefit. Well, she used to have to drive for 2 hours into the city to get an injection in her eye so that her eye wouldn't water. And then she'd drive home, and she'd do that every month. And again, after 6 months using the products, she didn't need to do that. That just disappeared. So I'm sure these ladies are happy about their improvements and their cosmetic improvements, but I'm sure they're a lot happier about how they feel better. So yeah, we really strive to help people with their health and well-being. Now these photos are all just after Renew 28. So this is the Renew 28 challenge, and they did a challenge where people were posting photos on all over the internet before and after, and you can see it's not just tightening of skin or wrinkles, it's redness and pigmentation and scarring and eyes and necks and lifting of skin and firmness and all sorts of things, including scarring, which is a real big challenge, and particularly in traditional Chinese medicine. And happy Chinese New Year, everyone. Scarring stops the flow of qi and energy, meridian energy, or life energy flowing through that, and that can cause other problems. So we know people that have had like significant scarring from surgery and adhesions, and they'd feel it pulling, and even scars that like excessively large and discolored. That we've had some significant results with that, even going back to like fine white skin and a very thin scar, and some scars we've even seen people have normal flesh coming back through after a couple of years of use. So really interesting, definitely worth giving a shot. Now looking at the athletic side of it, we have Olympians all over the world. This guy in the top left hand corner, that's Cody Miller. He's been at the last 2 Olympics and won gold medals at both Olympics, and he's an ASEA sponsored athlete, so he's pretty happy boy. The guy in the top middle, he is a 68-year-old cyclist, and he actually has 20 world records, world titles, and he broke 3 world records. He totally believes that this technology made a massive difference. He drinks 120 mils morning and night of the liquid, and he also drinks 120 mils before and after an event, and he uses the Renew 28 and rubs it into the muscle groups immediately before and after the event. And he said that his cycling performance accelerated enormously once he started using this product. The one on the top right-hand corner, that's actually the captain of the Irish national cycle team. Those guys are all into their ASEA. The one on the bottom left-hand, that's a marathon runner. He ran 50 marathons in 50 weeks. The one in the middle, Kathy Waite, she's an ASEA-sponsored athlete. She's an ex-Terra champion. That's kind of like the four-wheel drive version of triathletes. It's very hard on the body. It's up and down mountains. It's on dirt roads and mountain biking and really rough trails. So you get a lot of micro tears, a lot of wear and tear to the body. They love their ASEA. And the bottom right-hand one, that's Eddie there, Eddie Strongman. Now, there's actually even a documentary on Eddie now. And he, this year, he won the 6th year in a row for the UK's strongest man. And a few months ago, he lifted 500 kilos. So he loves his ASEA and his Renew 28. And rumours are he was the one that introduced it to Arnie Schwarzenegger as well. Okay, so just want to give you a disclaimer and be clear that ASEA and Renew 28 are health benefit products. They're not medical products. And we're going to hear some personal stories now of how they've helped people. But ASEA and Renew 28 is not intended to prevent, diagnose, treat, or cure any medical condition or disease. Okay, so I'm just going to stop that share for a moment and stop the